Have you ever had somebody just rage at you like a rabid dog, just scream at you, and you notice, this person is not doing this to other people. There's something about me, and apparently it's due to my Asperger syndrome, that they feel perfectly comfortable, perfectly fine treating me like a doormat. I mean, totally, absolutely abusing me as if they were the dog and I were the bone. How did we get to that? I mean, what were the steps when we first met this person? And they treated us with relative dignity at the very onset to this point where they are raging mad dog. Well, we have 8 steps. Number one is when we first meet somebody, if you have Asperger syndrome or autism, typically there is nothing about you that is particularly distinguishable that they will pick up on, except for the fact that we tend to have a difficult time getting our hair straight according to neurotypical people. We're not very concentric about that. We just don't get it, and that's kind of a sign. Sometimes it is the way we dress because we tend to be pragmatic. We're very practical, and most other people, neurotypical people, they put form in front of function. They like style more than functionality. So there are a couple giveaways, but most people that I talk to who have Asperger syndrome tells me that they are figured out by neurotypicals within like a minute. It's almost immediate because they can tell there is something different about the way they act, about the way we act, the way that we behave. Our body language, our facial expressions, or lack of our facial expressions, all those things add up. And it's like neurotypical people, concentric people have this radar. They just zoom in on it. So the very first thing that typically they will do, not always, but sometimes, is they may begin with superficial praise because, okay, this guy's a little bit weird, a little bit odd, a little bit strange, but we're going to be super, super nice to this person. So at the very onset, you may feel that there's a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of feel good, a little bit of taste good. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, you've eaten potato chips, right? You eat one potato chip, that was good, think I have another one, or maybe a cookie. I like that cookie, think I have another one. So you're with this neurotypical concentric person, and they're making you feel good. So you keep going back, but the more you go back, the more they sense that there is something off. There's something a little odd. There is something eccentric about you. So that superficial praise is as short-lived. Then they may move a step further and they may make you think that, you guys are really good friends. And maybe at the very beginning you are, because sometimes neurotypical people want people to be friends who they think they can control, they think they can manipulate. They want people in their sphere of friendship that aren't trying to control them, but are controlled by them. So again, it's like they have this remote control. We talked about this in past videos, and we're like the drone. They want to move us around. So yeah, they kind of become our good friends. So that's step number 2. Number 3 is this. Then they want us to feel obligated to them like you owe me. Now, let me stop here. Now, I know I've had some experiences where I have met concentric people, neurotypical people, and at the very get-go, they were abusive. I mean, these first couple steps just didn't happen. They just cut to the chase. It's like that mean dog, there was no petting, there was no, purring of a cat. They just went for your eyes immediately. But we're talking about this neurotypical person specifically, who they go through this process. So now you have this sense of, number 3 is you have the sense of obligation, or they want you to this individual because, well, they were nice to you when other people may or may not have been very kind to you. And so they want you to feel obligated to them. You will be my puppet, or I will cut loose your strings and you will be on your own and you will have nobody. Number 4 then is they want you to feel guilt, like, okay, you let me down. I was your friend, I had your back, and you misled me. That's the way they present it to you. They may not say it in those terms, but they give you this feeling that it's your fault. Yeah, there's a term for that. You probably know what it is. It's called gaslighting, where we feel like we are to blame because they are abusing us. Yeah, that's gaslighting. And Do we go along with it? Well, the sad part is a lot of us do, and I'll explain how that works in just a moment. So you have this sense of guilt that they want you to think that you misled them. Number 5 is they may go to shock. I mean, not electrical shock, but they're stunned. Maybe a better way to say it. They can't believe that you betrayed them. Well, what they're doing is they're trying to compel you, to force you to comply with whatever they want. And if you don't, they make you feel like you are betraying them somehow, some way, because they are your rescuer. They're the one who has control of you, and they are kind of like your protector, So if you are not complying, then what's wrong with you? They are absolutely positively taken aback because it's just weird to them. At least that's the way they present it. Number 6 is, this is kind of painful, but a lot of times the way neurotypicals or concentric people will control you is through what I would call put downs or invalidation. Compared to me, you're kind of dumb. I mean, they don't say it verbatim. They don't say it in those exact terms. Seldom, maybe they do. But they want you to feel like, compared to them, that you're an idiot. Now, it's not only comparing you to them, but they want everyone else to see this because, well, it's kind of an ego thing. So, say, in the workplace, if you're dealing with one of these people that is putting you down and validating you, ridiculing you in front of others, well, what happens? Well, then you are viewed by the group, and remember, people with Asperger syndrome just aren't part of the group. You will be viewed as the group, as the doormat. You are the group doormat. You are the go-to guy if you want someone to push around and to get a little ego boost. Well, there's that Aspies guy. Let's beat on him. And guess what? It actually happens. I don't know how many times I've been in the workplace and I've seen this over and over again. Number 7 is there may be a time of intimidation where the neurotypical person will just tell you that you will do what they want you to do or else. You'll lose your job, you won't get a promotion. What have they possibly got against you? Well, if you go back and remember that very initial stage, when they were effectively love-bombing you and then pretending they were your best friend, well, that is when chances are you confided in them some things that are very personal, some dark spaces in your life maybe. And they've got those things. It may not be much, but they will convince you somehow, some way that they got the goods on you. Maybe they don't even have anything, but they will make you think that they got the goods on you, and you will comply. You will do what they want you to do, or else now you're realizing this is not my best friend. This is not the good guy. This is not the person that I thought he or she was. And then number 8 is it will sometimes turn into outright rage against you. That's what we talked about at the very onset. They feel comfortable about doing this now. So why is that? Well, because you just don't have very many friends. You don't have people that you can get close to, that you can rely on. You really don't have anyone who has your back. But this guy was different. So I must have made him angry or her angry. I must have done something that put an end to that kindness and consideration. So we try to get past the rage, to get back to that time when this person was being courteous and kind to us and loving. That is codependency. So the neurotypical person is depending on us just to boost his ego or her ego. That's pretty much it. But we are depending on him to validate us, to make us feel normal, to make us feel good about ourselves. But we can't because of this rage, because we made him angry. This is gaslighting, where we are blaming ourselves for what this other person is doing to us. The only way I know to get out of this situation is just cut all the strings. Puppeteer got strings attached to you, the puppet. Now keep in mind the strings are attached to you. The strings are not attached to the puppeteer, to the neurotypical person. He or she picks them up whenever he or she wants, and you comply because that's the way your thoughts have been framed by this individual. Let's keep talking if you want. Take a look at those 2 rectangles on the screen. Click one of them and the conversation will keep on going. If not, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you all next time.